is the weekend. It's the 28th of June. Is it a new month yet? We just don't know. It's been one of those weeks this week. I tell you, it's been one of those crazy weeks. One stupid thing I did do. And I'll admit this. Guys usually do this. This is a stupid thing that we tend to happens every so often, even to geeks. Or even to some people who are not geeks. I had actually accidentally broke my other phone. My other Samsung that I had. I had to pick up a new one last week. So I've been learning some of the new stuff that's on here compared to what I had on the other one, which is just some minor stuff, and the way it turns off and on compared to the other one. I'm going to see if I can actually configure the quick adjustments for it to power it off the way I had it on the other one. Just with the new one, it's just not the same. It's just not the same. Other than that, it's a good little phone. I have no complaints. I haven't used it that much for talking, so that's a good thing. Because I'm only using that for emergency use only. It comes in nicely as a quick little camera, and offshoot some stuff that I have on there onto my little workstation that I have here that I'm doing the recording on. And yes, you guys do hear a fan in the background. This is my fan that I have running right here. It's just that I like having a small breeze when I'm sitting stationary here, because I find that I tend to even sweat. Well, not really sweat per se, but I feel like I get a little bit too warm just staying put in one section. So I'm always used to walking around or doing something. So that's why I have this fan here with me all the time. Even when I go to bed, I have a fan just off to the side, not blowing hard, just enough that there's a nice little breeze. It makes me sleep better at night, so it's a good thing. Work-wise week. Being in a call center, you usually have your ups and downs. You'll have some days that you're super busy. It's like you thought the day would never end. And then you'll have other days where it's just like dead quiet. You'll have maybe 5, 10, maybe 15 calls, if that, throughout the day. And then you'll have ones where you have 15 or 20 calls, but a lot of it is a lot of back end stuff that you have to deal with. A lot of work behind the stuff, or a lot of emails that you have to deal with. But you just don't have that high call volume that you usually have. So, also this week we got a new employee that's working. We have 2 new employees. One that's working the overnights from, I think it's Thursday through Sunday, I think. And there's another one for an earlier shift. I forget which one, or if it's probably the same one, but it's just during the week. So I have my colleague that I usually deal with, which I usually call him Storm and Norman. He's a great guy. We get along together. We tend to goof. We tend to do goofy, funny things that we both laugh at. So that's a good thing. And I like that about him, and he likes that about me, because we do things seriously, but also we have fun at the same time. So we know it's like we have that good good working relationship that we can banter off of, And we also tend to learn a lot off of each other, so that's a good thing too. So got that to get done. Finally got I had to get a new air conditioner yesterday. It just came in today. We're probably not going to do it today, but we're going to have to figure out a time where we can get the extra help so I can take the old one out, put the new one in, and then bring the one that we have upstairs currently into my mom's car, along with another one which has to go to a proper place to get recycled. So any of the refrigerant that needs to get out needs to be properly disposed of. Any copper or anything like that, they can disassemble and scrap it for what it's worth, because that's apparently worth money, a lot of it. So that's one thing they're going to have to do on their own once I can get it out of the garage and all that. So it's just a matter of getting the time, getting the manpower to do all of that. So we're going to try to get that done soon. Hopefully not later. And I finally got some time off. Yay! I was kind of not. It was not that I was not in the know. Usually I usually make the request for my time off early, like in the new year, like in 2025. Somehow I left this year up a little late in regards to my time off, not realizing that nobody talked about it, and it's like, oops. And finally got my 3 weeks set. One for July, at the end of July, another one for August, and then another one for December. So those are my 3 weeks. I'm going to see what I can do to spend time here and do something hopefully fun, something I want to do, and not watch TV. So that's another thing. And yes, I got my nice little Catsy here, my little Daisy, who likes being with me. Who's always downstairs on her own over here, and I try to include her to make sure that she feels wanted, because I'm usually upstairs with my other stuff. So, hey Daisy, hey, come on, no, you don't want to go snoogie? Yeah, I'm talking to you. See, she's having a chat with me right now. She's right now just wanting to get snuggled off screen, off camera here. Hey, you little Snoopy. She's a little Snoopy. She's a long-haired cat. I'm trying to get her over here. Hold on. She might come into screen. You okay? There we go. Come on. Let's see if I can get her to come in the screen here. Come on. Everything is okay, Shetsy. That's one thing about cat. I do like cats and dogs. I have no problems being around them, because I had dogs and cats when I was younger too with my parents. So that was always fun when we were kids. And way back when I was younger, our neighborhood was not the same as it is today. So it's more populated with people around, so it makes it a little bit harder to have animals. And there's not that many places that you can bring animals to where they can actually roam within reason, like freely, but yet they're still close by to you, where they can quickly come back. And I notice that sometimes too with the animals, if they're not well trained by the owner themselves, it makes it that much more difficult. So what can you do? As for what I'm going to try to get done over the weekend there, since it's actually Saturday morning, just almost getting ready for the Saturday afternoon, or close to Saturday lunchtime. It's only 9:56 right now, as of this small beginning recording. I still have to get some other things done outside, and get, which reminds me, I have to get some groceries too. The funds of always being the one doing all the grocery shopping and all that. So get that done, get my laundry done, and a couple of odds and ends, and removing my beard. It's that every few weeks or every couple of months, it's time to trim it down. It's getting a little bit too long. I got a mishmash. Last weekend I had to deal with mainly my courses that I had for work, which I got done, thank God. It's just the timing you get sometimes with them. Anyhow, so I'm going to be back. Let me get some stuff going on here, and we'll see what's happening. And I'll get your feedback on this, okay? Be right back. Hello again. I finally got, right now the education came in just early this morning, like I had mentioned earlier on, from the new one that my mom had bought. And I just got some tools up and some tape just in case. I've called in one of my mom's helpers, who's a handyman, who's going to actually help me out getting the old one out and get the new one put in. So that's what's going to happen next. We're just waiting for him to come in around 1 o'clock this afternoon, so that way we can actually do that. And what we'll do is once we get that one out, my mom's old air conditioner out from the window, put the new one in, and then take the two and put those two in the back of my mom's car. And then come, let's say, Monday or Tuesday when I have to go out, I'm going to head over to the landfill or the recycling center in our local municipality and actually drop them off there. So that way it's done and over with, so I don't have to worry about two old air conditioners that should have been tossed out a long time ago. So at this point, we're just waiting to hear back from them regarding that. And it shouldn't take that long. It's really easy to do with two people. It should only take about a half hour, an hour the most, because it's just taking out the old, putting in the new one in. The plexiglass that we have in there should stay the same regarding it, so it's not going to be so bad, and it's going to look good. So hopefully with that, my mom will be happy, and it'll keep the house cool on the main floor for her. I'm in the basement thing here, so it's not so bad because most of it is covered by earth and all that, so it's not retaining that much heat down in the basement here. And I have my Ryobi fans here. This is the one of these little portable ones with the 18 volts on it. I do have a larger one which I do use from time to time, especially in areas like in the back in the old playroom that we used to have, what we used to call the playroom, or when my mom needed it in her room for cooling that area down. So that's always one that my mom can actually use when I don't need it on the overnight, because I usually have that running towards me at the, facing me when I'm sleeping. So that and one of these as well. So it'll be an easy thing there. I'll be back later on regarding the installation and anything else that I find useful. So right now it's just a waiting game for the helper and just getting the cars moved out of the way, which is going to be easy peasy anyhow. The installation is just three or four screws from the chassis from the old air conditioners to get them lifted out, and then just by putting the new one in, it should be just as easy. Hopefully we don't have to go through a whole slew of steps to get everything done. It's just in and out, and that's it. So with that being said, for the time being, let's take a look at it later on when I come back. Okay? So I'll be back soon enough. Once again, well, I'm back for now, and it looks like I've actually finished off around, I think it was around 2:30. We actually finished off putting the air conditioner in. Took us it didn't take us long. It was just that the guy that we had hired up was actually a helper that my mom knew, and since we had picked up a new air conditioner, we actually ordered an air conditioner last night through Home Depot. It arrived this morning, so the unit was actually there, and we had to wait for the guy to come there to be on site. Once he was there, parked his car across the street, came onto our side. We took out the old air conditioner, which he took the main chassis away, so that's actually going to be gone to recycle, because where we are in Quebec, we cannot leave the interior part of the chassis, the main unit itself that actually does the refrigeration and all that. They don't take that away, and there is no recycling center close by that actually properly takes the part, takes the refrigerant out, disassembles it, so on and so forth. So the handyman that my mom had hired knows a couple of places that deal strictly with that, so we left him off with the one that we did take out. We have one other one which is going to be going soon. Those ones were fairly big and fairly heavy. The two that we had, or the one that we did have, which is now gone, um, which is now going to be recycled. The second one he's going to pick up tomorrow, which is going to be on Sunday, and that's going to also go disappear. The air conditioners that you and I usually buy, like from Home Depot, Renault Depot, Rona, which is part of Lowe's, under the Lowe's banner, those were never meant to be, how can I say, they were never meant to be reconditioned again. It's like you use it once until the thing bloody dies, and then basically you get yourself a new set. It's not like the industrial freezers or refrigerators that you would see like in restaurants, like for the air conditioner itself, for the ventilation, or for the freezer that requires a condenser and all that, that's separated from each other. And mostly the freezers themselves, the one that actually has the motor and the other parts, are usually up on the roof, that are weighing in at 2,000-3,000 pounds, or even higher than that, depending on the size. So those are usually hidden way up above on the ceiling, on the roof itself, like on these warehouses, or they're hidden away on the side, like in the parking lots that you would usually see. So those huge ones are usually kept onto the side where it's easier access. The reason why I know this as well is I have a friend that I've known since like grade school, for like forever, and he does refrigeration and all that, so he knows about these things. So and I asked him, it's like, I know him as my dear friend Billy. His true name is Vasilios. So I always ask him, I said, from one tech to another. And I asked him, I said, look, I'm being straight out with you. I'm doing this. Like running the diagnosis that I do know that we can do as an individual, or as a as a general person who has one at home. What to look for, what to do. Think of put myself what we can touch and what we can't touch because of certain regulations. And he even tells me, he says, you've gone farther than anything else that we really needed over here. So things like that, he is more than helpful to let us know. So he's helped us out kind of on things like that. But ordering air conditioners is not so bad. The thing is with my mom, because she's an elderly lady and she's in her 80s, I'm from the point, being a Gen Xer myself, where we're kind of like the middle people between the Gen X and the millennials. The millennials are spoiled or rotten regarding to technology and what goes behind it. We, as Gen Xers, kind of know what's going on. We understand it. Me being a computer technician knows what goes on in the background, so it's like, fun time. But still, I try to, gut instinct usually kicks in 90% of the time on certain things. It's like, don't even touch it. Don't touch it. Out the door. So with this one here, I even told my mom, is like, look, let's just get a new one, and we'll just get it installed in, so that it's done and over with. It's done with her. With me, it's not so bad. I used to have an air conditioner in my window over here, but because I used to do most of my work in my room here, dealing with calls and all that, it wasn't beneficial to have an air conditioner running, because I would be turning it off and on, off and on, off and on, off and on. And I would feel sorry for my air conditioner, first off, and the bloody thing would probably just die from being switched on and off. It just wouldn't take it. So now when I do take calls and all that, I'm using one of my I'm using like my Ryobi fans here. And I'm still using this one here, and it's still blowing. Regarding just to keep some cool air coming in my direction. I like this one because it's just benefit. I find it's nice. I have these things running even when I go to bed, and I'm in the exact same room where they are, so it's nicely located for me to sleep. So that makes it a little bit easier, especially at night. And considering I'm a fluffy guy, slightly on the chubby side, but not too chubby. It's not in excess, but still, I like to be kept cool to a certain extent. So right now, I'm actually happy with the air conditioner that's been installed. It's running. It's keeping the air cool upstairs. That's the main thing for my mom, because of her age and all that. So I'm not going to argue with that. Tomorrow is going to be a different story because I have to do a lot of the grocery shopping. So I have probably quite a bit of a list to go through in regards to picking up stuff for the week and trying to make stuff for my mother and I, because we both, instead of having these heavy duty meals that we used to have a long time ago before my father passed away, we just couldn't. And I look at these prepared meals where you can pick them up at the local grocery store, whether they're Swanson dinners, or these TV dinners and all that. They'll get to you after a while, and plus, depending on what they're making, or what they have, anywhere between $3 or $4 to $8 to $10, depending on the type of recipe that they're using. It's kind of expensive, so I'm trying to lean over to still making stuff at home, even if it's stuff that's light. And even then, it's just like what to make, because I'm always sitting down in front of the computer, for 8 to 9 hours a day, and I'm also helping out my mother. So it's like I have to be in the same area as she is on the main floor upstairs. I can't be down here and then try to help her upstairs. I have to be on the main floor with her, doing my stuff, and as well taking care of the calls, and taking care of her at the same time, and giving her coffee in the afternoon, which is like almost like a ritual for her. So I love my mother to death. Don't get me wrong. And, my mother and I tend to go like cats and dogs, but I mean, I love her to death in a way that I'm willing to do it for her. Because I still want her around for a fairly long time, and to be able to see her eldest son to actually have a wife and kids on top of it. We already have my younger brother who has a wife and kids, and they're doing very well in Toronto. I just want to be able to have a wife and kids myself, and I'm trying to work up on that. But because I'm helping out my mother here at home with her and her health, it makes it a little bit more difficult to do what I would like to be able to do for myself. And not that many people understand that, because most of my friends are not going through that themselves personally. So that's where it makes it a little bit harder for them to understand until they actually go through it. And I know a couple of my friends where their fathers and mothers are getting to that age where their health is not going to be any more improved, but it's going to eventually go down. So then they'll understand what it feels like what I went through with my parents and my grandparents on both my mother's and my father's side, which they will eventually understand, so gotta take it as it comes. So with this here, I'm going to leave it short for this week. If I do come back tomorrow on the Sunday with something else, we'll take it as it comes, okay? So I'll catch you guys next week, and have yourself a great weekend, okay?